Howdy, partners. This is Josh.
Brian.
And Thomas.
We're happy to have you along for the ride for episode number 7 of Heritage Cycles Podcast. So saddle up and let's get rolling.
All right, so today, of course, again with our lovely beer sponsor, Grove City Brewing Company, we are drinking, we don't even know, Josh. The tags fell off. So
the tags fell off. They got jumbled up. We know that there's a double IPA in there. It's a when the Mosaic died.
So nice they IPA'd it twice.
Yes,
double the IPA.
It's good. That's what Thomas and I we determined through a brief taste test which was which. So yeah, Thomas and I are drinking the double IPA.
And I'm having the same
delicious.
thing that they had last week, which was the it doesn't say on that, so I don't know, the B Webs blonde stout. Check it out.
How is it? That's probably one of the strongest beers.
It's boozy for shoozy.
As you can tell, he's already had a couple sips.
Yep. Drank about an inch so far.
Yeah. So thanks, Grove City Brewing Company, for providing our beverages this morning. It's another morning.
We look forward to our drunken morning here.
Yay, Saturday drunkenness.
It's your fault if our customers complain about our booziness throughout the day. So thank you.
I think that's why they come here.
Sure.
All right, get this out of the way. Chris Barron was the winner of last episode's Heritage Swag horn thing that we did. We're going to do it again this week. So what we didn't specify is you only have until the next episode to email in. So if this isn't the most current episode, then it's over.
Okay.
So you'll hear a sound that sounds like this at some time in the episode. Email us. Make sure it's in the email to Heritage Cycles Podcast.
Where'd that come from?
At Gmail. Jesus.
Oh, of course.
Thank you, Jesus.
And what time you heard it, and we'll send you some stuff in the mail, and it'll be fun. We'll clap hands. So. Oh, yeah, USA residences only. I noticed we got a couple overseas people listening, so good. We're going to restrict it to USA only just to avoid $50 shipping fees.
Unless you want to pay shipping.
Yeah, that's cool. Sure. I don't think it would be worth it. So.
Oh, come on. We got good stuff.
We do.
We'll make it worth it.
We'll send Thomas.
He'll give you a hug.
Nice
warm hug. Today's episode, we're going to talk a bit about riding with the kiddos. So,
different things you can take them in, different ways to keep them safe.
Yeah.
Right. Whether they're riding alongside or riding behind or in front or stuff like that. Yep.
Yeah. Different ways to pull them along. Yeah. So maybe this might not be exactly just for people with kids. Hopefully everybody has a kid in their life, at least one that they could borrow from a stranger.
Those are the best kind.
Borrowing kids. Yeah, because so you can give them back.
Yep.
At the end of the day, after you got them all dirty with biking and ice cream. Dang it! I wasn't supposed to say ice cream anymore.
Why not?
Nicole says I say ice cream too much.
Just say ice cream.
Makes her hungry.
It does. She's like, every time I listen, I have to go get ice cream. Thanks a lot. So, yeah, maybe you can borrow, maybe you have siblings, younger siblings. Thomas, you and your girlfriend, Tiff, you guys borrow her younger siblings sometimes when they're in town and you go on bike rides.
Hopefully in a couple of years I'll be borrowing my little niece, too.
Yeah, there you go. That's right.
On a Strider bike.
Yeah. You have a little cousin or somebody younger than you that doesn't get out much. Maybe they're a video game zombie and very pale, and you need to get them out into some fresh air, get them some vitamin D, let some sunshine shine on them.
Vitamin B on bicycles.
Oh.
Let's jump right in here and see what we got to put these little guys on.
All right. There are lots of ways to get rolling with those little boogers. There are trailers, rear-mounted carriers, front-mounted carriers, cargo bikes, tag-alongs, tow bars, weehoos. We'll start with ways to carry out the youngest, the bambinos.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that your child can sit upright and sit up with the extra weight of a helmet maybe on their head. Test them out a little bit.
Just make them wear it around the house.
Yeah.
Get the neck muscles going.
All right.
Get them firing.
Tape a couple extra little weights to it.
Yeah.
A couple
sandbag. God, we're
cornhole bags.
Do not take any pictures of this.
No, please do. We'll send you a free sandbag. So we'll start with trailers, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're going to start with.
That's it.
We like Burleys. I like Burleys. That's kind of the big brand out there that have really nice array of of bike trailers that you can hook up to your bike. Yeah, it's basically a 2-wheeled cart that you set your child in. Usually has like a what's this strapping? What do you say? Like 5-point strapping harness, seat belts for your little guys or little girls. So yeah, that you've seen those around, I'm sure. They're fully enclosed, so that's kind of a plus about them, that you can take them in all weather. Even I used to take my youngest. Well, I've taken all my kids in all these contraptions, but last year my youngest son Milo, I would bring him to work just about every day in a trailer, and we did it all winter long. I think the coldest it was like 13 degrees out, and he was completely fine with the rain cover on and everything. So he stayed nice and warm, and it was grand. Another plus with the trailer, you can get a 2-seater. You can carry more than one kid, or a kid and some groceries, or some other cargo.
A dog.
Yep, small dog probably, and a kid trailer. They also make dog trailers.
Maybe even adults. I've seen that on the bike trail.
Have you really?
Yeah. They might.
That's awesome.
Maybe
adults.
not sober adults, but inebriated adults.
That's good.
They fit in there.
Yeah. You do D&D on the bike path. Sure. Oh, another pro is they double as running strollers. A lot of them do. You can get an attachment to put on a front wheel.
If it's nice enough to run, you should be riding your bike. I'm not saying.
What do you have something against runners?
What if you want to go to the zoo?
Oh yeah, they can't.
And a bear gets out, and then you got to run.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true.
It's the only reason to run. Something's chasing you.
So we'll talk about some cons of, not cons potato chips, but cons of the trailers. So one negative part of having a trailer is communication is tough with the youngins. If you're trying to say something, especially if they have the rain cover over, and you're riding along, and there's wind and debris flying, it's hard to communicate anything with those young guys
or girls.
I've never ridden with one. Are they pretty weird to ride with, or
not really? I mean, you just have to be conscious of that you got this thing that you're pulling along, but they roll really nicely.
Just a thing. Just a thing.
Yeah, just a thing.
Nothing important.
Just a human. But yeah, don't go riding off any curbs or anything. And I guess they do cut down on your ability to maneuver somewhat, but they're pretty easy to pull along. Like, I was always surprised with when we first started getting one with the kids. Like, my 2 oldest, they're similar, close enough in age to where I could carry 2 kids at once when they were both younger, and it was pretty easy.
Cool.
Or one other negative thing about the trailers is if you go on longer rides, kids tend to get bored in there. At least mine did. You could try to give them books and stuff, but they don't really have anything to do but sit. It's like a car ride. So.
Giving them an iPad or something if it's going to be a while. Nothing better than playing iPad and riding along on a trailer.
Yeah.
Name one better thing.
Brian's joking. Don't give them an iPad.
If you're going to be a while, why not? Sure.
Play some Pokemon.
You just said they're going to get bored. Why have them get bored?
Have them look at the freaking birds or something.
And identify them.
Yes. No, we're catching virtual Pokemon, man.
Okay, another good way to carry kiddos is rear mounted carriers. So you've seen these. They've had them for decades, since the beginning of bicycles. So you have a carrier that mounts to the back of your bicycle. I like
sort of like a car seat.
Sort of like car seat. I've tried multiple ones of these. I've never really had a problem with any of them. You can get the cheaper. Bell makes one for like $50. I think you can get at department stores. Those seem fine. Mounting them might be a little more difficult than something a little bit nicer. They're a little bit more bulky. I don't know. Might not be as comfortable for the little guys and girls. But I really like a new brand we started carrying. It's a European brand. Bow Bike makes a really nice one. It's like sleek looking. It's easily attachable and detachable to a rack on your bike. It has like a mounting kit that has a quick release that you can just pop it on and off. So I've used a Bow Bike with my youngest quite a bit this past year, and another benefit of those that pretty big kids could could still sit in them comfortably. So my youngest is 5, and he still fits in one. So, and they can go all the way down to 12 months, or when your child can sit upright.
It can grow with the child.
And Toe Peak also makes a nice one that has quick release. I don't think I've ever personally tried that one, but I've seen them. Those are nice too. There's all different types. They're all safe. They should be.
But communication's still a little tough.
Yeah, right. It's hard to.
It's better, but it's still, you have to turn around, of course, to.
Yeah, or just yell really loud.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's cold out, then sometimes when it's cold, my son has like a balaclava on or something to cover in his ears, so he can't hear hardly anything. Then I'm yelling at him out through the wind and everything. So
not that you really need to say much, right? I mean, it's
sometimes you're just like, hey, look at that feral cat eating that rabid squirrel over there.
That's morbid.
I know. Sometimes that happens though, and they're just like, what?
What? Where?
Thankfully, they didn't hear that one.
Right.
All right. Well, that seems to be the only con to that.
Right. Communication. Oh yeah. You saw the second one. Yeah. So also, yeah, if you happen to pass some gas, it goes right directly into your child's face.
Is that a con though? Like that's kind of like
that's
payback.
Not a con. I guess it's a con for them.
Just getting even.
Right.
That leads us to front-mounted seats.
So I'm a big fan of front-mounted ones.
Wow, you like your kid to fart on you?
Well, I do.
Payback. The rear mount is for the payback from the front mount.
Right, that's right. So you go front-mounted
first.
Usually, yeah, actually, I should have done this backwards from youngest to oldest. So front-mounted, they're usually better for the younger kiddos. So again, 12 months starting out, but up to like maybe 2 or 3 is about tops. There's one that I like a lot that we carry here in the shop. It's Ibert. It's real easy to install. It just takes a couple bolts. Pretty universal fit on most bikes, I think. Yeah, it says weight limit up to 38 pounds on their website. I'd say that's probably a little too big. Once your kid's 38 pounds, they're probably going to be a little uncomfortable on this. They're not the hugest type of front-mounted seat. Bow Bike also makes one that they might have a more allowance for bigger kids. I didn't check out their weight limits. Check out their website and you can see.
It'd be weird having all that weight on the front of the bike anyway.
It is a little awkward. One awkward thing I found is on certain bikes that I'd mounted the Ibert to is that I didn't have a lot of knee clearance. So my if I didn't ride like with my knees spread out a little bit, I would bump the back of the seat with my knees as we rode. But you're not going to be doing any type of fast riding on any of these. You're just kind of it's all going to be leisurely, so you're not trying to break a sweat or go super fast or anything. At least you shouldn't be. Shame on you if you are.
These are nice, I think, to have. Like I said, you can talk to them and actually kind of be right there, see them, watch them look around, and actually have a little bit of a bonding experience rather than just them being somewhere back there and you're just pedaling forward.
Yep, that was my favorite part about the Ibert that I had when my kids were younger, is that you could just have communication throughout the whole ride. If they have a problem, they start crying, they're cold, or whatever, you can talk to them right there without stopping every time and figuring out what the issue is.
Tell them, suck it up.
Yeah, you can flick them on the forehead as you're riding. So, that always works for me.
Yeah.
Sorry, kids.
All right, so cargo bikes.
Cargo bikes. This is something I haven't really had experience with. There's all different types of them. Usually you see like a long tail cargo bike. Yuba is pretty popular here in the States. That's probably one of the main.
YUBA, Yuba.
Right, yeah. They have a bunch of different styles. I think they came out with a front-loading one this past year. They have some e-bike versions of them. So, yeah, those are nice. Usually if you have more than one kid, or if you're pretty dead set on carrying a lot of stuff on a regular basis, this might be up your alley. A long-tailed one is just what it sounds like. It's super extended in the back. And then there's also some really cool ones with like big buckets in the front that they have straps like seat belts that you can put your kids in, and they'll be extended in the front instead. Maneuverability might be an issue with these.
They're not really made to be nimble. They're made to take a bunch.
Yeah,
from A to B.
Purely functional bikes here.
No time trials.
Right. So yeah, those are cool. You can check out those online.
What's the? Is it the Big Dummy? Is that a cargo bike?
Yeah, big dummy. That's Surly makes
Surly
that.
makes
That's like a long tail one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually made a big fat dummy here the last couple of years.
Gosh.
So it's a fat bike.
All right, so now your kid's old enough to kind of get out of your face. You know, you kind of want to start getting them on the path of riding their own bike, sitting behind handlebars on a seat with their feet, whether it be on pedals or a rest or something. So we're going to go over some kind of things that gets them off your bike.
Yeah,
essentially
transitional periods of children, so you can start getting them used to pedaling and paying attention to what it's like to ride on the roads. There's a few different things. I break it down into a few different categories. So there's tag-alongs, tow bars, and weehoos. So they're all similar. They're something that's going to attach to the back of your bike to carry your kid along. They all kind of have the same pluses and minuses. There's some little details in between each one that make them different.
Tag along, basically picture half a bike with no front fork. It just kind of, the frame just keeps going to this arm that attaches to your bike.
It essentially makes it a tandem.
Yeah.
And a bipartible
there's
tandem.
it's only got one wheel, so it does lean and turn. It's not like a trailer that it's kind of fixed to.
Yeah, no brakes or anything.
Yeah.
Some of them have gears. But pros of these are, the child gets to participate in the bike ride. They get to pedal along. It's a confidence builder. They get to go faster.
Something to do.
They have something to do.
Yeah, you said Milo was pushing you down the road the other day, right?
Right. Yeah. So
having a blast.
We just started with this other version of this, which is a tow bar. So it's the same thing as a tag along, but it essentially makes you can use the child's existing bike. Yeah. So Milo is my youngest. He's 5. He has a 16-inch bike. This tow bar kind of attaches his bike to my bike and lifts up his front wheel so he can't steer. But it's the same thing, same idea. Mm-hmm. But we have one of those, hooked it up just last week, and Milo loves it. I take him to school in it. He comes to the shop with me in the mornings. And we started riding along, and the other day he was just like, "Stop pedaling, Daddy. I want to push us. I want to see if I can do it." And I just kind of rolled my eyes like, "Yeah, buddy. Yeah, right." So he pushed us probably, it's about a mile from the shop to his school. He probably pushed us about halfway. And he was having a blast the whole time. I kept looking back at him, and he's just like getting at it, pedal, 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 pedal. And I'll be like, "Tell me when you want to take a break, buddy." And he never told me he wanted to take a break. So he's just like, he just had a blast the whole time.
And today he can't walk.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, that's I was like, I don't know. I kind of had this pride moment, and I was like, this is going to be my riding buddy, I mean, the other kids ride a lot, but they kind of complain a little bit about going on rides when Daddy wants to go on a bike ride, but Milo is all about it all the time. So I was just like, man, he's gonna pass me up in a couple of years. He's gonna be a lot faster than me because he's pushing a 150-pound dude down the street. But I just thought that was kind of cool. So
with these tag along things, what if they decide to just lean to one side? What happens?
It does kind of affect you. Got to tell them. You have to communicate with them maybe beforehand.
Go to a parking lot maybe and try these things out. Tell them the do's and the don'ts.
Yeah, and just feel it out for yourself too, because it does make it a little bit awkward. You're essentially twice the length as you are on your regular bike. It does throw you off a little bit if they start leaning. They're trying to look around you or something. You do have to tell them that they have to stay still and stay upright, not move around too much. There is quite a bit of communication involved, which is also a con to this thing, because it just like the trailers, anytime you have the child behind you, it's hard to communicate.
And this time you got to basically be a team,
right,
out there.
Yeah, just like a tandem. So yeah, and you're working with a young child that is outside, so that they're going to be distracted and they're going to be wanting to have fun. But if you're out on the roads, it's very serious. So you have to kind of put them in check sometimes when they want to veer off. Yeah, there's also weehoos in that category. These are cool because it's kind of the same idea as a tag along, but they're more of like recumbent style. So they have seats where there's a backrest to it,
and even an enclosure.
Yeah, they have attachments for enclosures.
Yeah, they're like the burly trailers almost.
Right,
it's single wheeled basically burly with pedals. Having that one in the shop was really cool.
Yeah, Yeah, we had a customer get one, and we assembled it for him. And but Milo and I actually got to try it out because he kept looking at it. He's just like, "Can we try this out, Dad?" So finally, we took it around the block, and he loved it. So, and it was enclosed. It was a pretty cold day. It was I think 40 degrees out, and he just had he didn't have a jacket on or anything, but it had this enclosure cover around and a canopy thing, and we were only out for 15 minutes, but he said he was completely warm in there, and he was able to pedal along, and he every time I looked back at him, he had a big grin on his face. So that was a really cool thing. Those are a little bit more pricey generally, unless you can find one used, but you're looking at about $225 for a basic one that doesn't have the pedals, and then there's a $450 one single seat with pedals, and then there's all those canopy attachments that would be extra cost, and then there's also a cool one that's $550 that's a 2-seater, so you can have
they both pedal.
I think just one of them pedals. The rear one pedals.
Oh, so they're in line.
Right.
Okay. Yep.
One behind the other, so you're essentially a 3-seater.
So if you're breaking this down, if you want to look at this as far as budget, the tow bar is going to be the cheapest, assuming that that kid already has a bike. If you're going from no bike, no nothing, you can buy the tag along, but then you got to buy a bike.
Right.
So you either go ahead and buy a bike, then the tow bar, and you probably pay a little more money up front, but it gets you further longer.
Right.
Or if you have the budget, just buy. I think the tag along is probably a little bit of a better system to kind of wean them on a bike than the tow bar. But if you already have a bike, then tow bar's what, $7,500?
Yeah,
you could probably make one if you had to. Fence post.
Those engineers out there.
Yeah, it is pretty complex. Actually, the tow bar is a little complicated to install too. I was scratching my head for a little while in the garage putting it together. I was going online and trying to figure out how to put it together. But it did.
Away.
Yeah, I threw them away. Who needs these? What?
All right.
But those are $75 to $100. It's the brand that we have. This is the only one I've ever really found online. It's called a Trail Gator. So that's the tow bar that we use. Pretty nice.
And again, if you're just listening and you want to see this stuff, obviously you can Google it yourself. But I'll be putting pictures up of all these images, so you don't have to picture them in your head or Google them. We'll do the work for you. Watch it on YouTube. It's good times.
Yeah, good fun. Good clean fun.
With the tag-alongs and the Trail Gator, are those post-child learning how to ride a bike, or do you think they could ride those before training wheels?
I'd say they could participate in these before training wheels. Good point.
Okay.
So yeah, since you're holding them up, they're not really going to fall over unless they fall off the bike.
They could fall off with training wheels too, so that doesn't.
That's true, but you're holding them up essentially, so they.
So you're basically their training wheels,
right?
So okay, that makes sense,
right? And you're not really teaching them how to balance or anything, but you are teaching them how to pedal. That's an important thing.
There's some balance to sit on a bike seat when you're a kid. I think that helps.
It might have some subconscious.
Yeah.
I don't know, teaching to.
Yeah, because when you turn,
when they turn, they're turning. Yeah,
right. You're teaching them how to lean
even
if they're not even thinking about it. So
lean with it, rock with it, roll with it.
There you go. Okay. All those things, and most of these things you can find used too if you're on a budget. Tag-alongs they're all over Craigslist and stuff. Usually,
people use them and then grow out of them and throw them up there.
Yep.
Make sure, just like a bicycle, though, you're not buying the super, super crappy ones.
Right. And you can get those tuned up, too.
Yep.
You hardly ever see those coming through the shop. And, your child is on them, so you should probably check those.
You don't want them to come untagged along and take off down a trail by themselves.
Right. I'm constantly, double-checking all the attachments on the tow bar thing with Milo. I'm just I'm obsessive about it.
With all these...
I mean, if you can imagine... with the tow bar, actually, if it did come detached, then he'd still have his bike. So
yeah, but depending on where it
came detached,
off.
Yeah, it could be a very sketchy situation.
He might pole vault into a pothole.
All right, so we're done. We're done with these kids being attached to our bikes.
All right, so
get them off there. Shake them off.
Shake them off.
Shake them off.
Just karate chop that bike off the back there.
And actually, this can be. That's not true. You kind of want to do a mix of both. You can have them tag along and start to get them on their own balance bikes.
Actually, that's another point that I should talk about real quick on another benefit of the tow bar. They have their own bike, and you can detach it. So say you want to ride to a destination, say a park or a bike trail, and it's maybe not so safe to get to the destination, so they tag along with you, and then once you get there, you can detach it, fold down the bar, it attaches to your bike, and then they can have their own bike to ride on their own. So that's a big benefit.
Awesome. That's good. You attach them when you're going down the road and you get to the path, you just let them loosey goosey.
Yep.
It's way better than driving there.
Yeah.
It is.
Boom. No car rack or anything. So now that, typical kids are like, Dad, I don't want to be attached to your bike anymore. Or Mom, I don't want to be attached to your bike anymore. I want my own bike. And I want it now.
So I'd start them off with a balance bike.
And some kids obviously are ready before others. Some will say, no, they'll be 15 with the tag along on there. Just
just with their feet kicked up on the handlebars.
Doing their taxes while you pedal. But that's okay. That's still bonding time, right? You got to know where all the tax cuts are and everything.
You got to know when to cut them off.
But
maybe you never do.
Have them do your taxes while you're at it.
There you go.
Yeah, if I pedal, you're doing my expenses.
Write this off, child.
Josh is a big advocator of the balance bike. My kids had normal bikes, and they're all too old to go to a balance bike. But Josh has raised all of his kids on balance bikes, and he's going to tell you a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, two out of three of my kids. First kid, she's 13 now. She didn't have a balance bike. She had training wheels. So
poor Phoenix.
It took her a while to get the hang of it. I'd take her training wheels off. She'd cry. I'd put them back on. She'd smile. So I think she was around 8. And which, at the same time, next kid, Oliver, I already had him a balance bike. So these were kind of just getting popular at the time. Put him on a balance bike, and he was already almost ready to go on a pedal bike. And Phoenix was kind of getting even more discouraged because she was a lot older, and her little brother was going to learn how to ride a bike before she was. So what I did was I just took her pedals off of her regular bike and had her ride around for a couple days. The same, is the same concept of it as a balance bike. What a balance bike is, it's essentially a bike without pedals that is low to the ground, so the child can
Flintstone it.
Yeah, Flintstone it. You could the child can just walk along with it, and they can do this from the time that they can start walking in most cases. And it's real slow at first. You can walk them around the block. You just might be at a super slow pace. But eventually the more you do it, the faster they get, the more confidence they gain. And then eventually you'll notice that the child is almost running, and you have to almost jog to keep up with them. And then you might go down a little hill or something, and then they're just picking up their feet. And then at that point, you're just like, oh, well, they're ready. So they know how to balance now. So at that point, you just get them a regular pedal bike. You can omit the need for training wheels altogether.
So what you're saying is the transitional period from being able to ride their own regular pedal bike is much faster if they start out on a balance bike.
In my experience, yes. What training wheels...
Tested and approved.
Yes, by me. Mm-hmm. Twice over. Or 3 times over, I guess. I like balance bikes in my experience. Training wheels do have somewhat of a function, kind of almost the same function as like a tricycle does. It teaches them how to pedal, which is important.
And it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Balance bikes I think they're more fun. Strider, it's the brand we carry. It's kind of the most popular brand out there.
They just came out with the brilliant, why did it take so long, balance bike that actually comes convertible.
Right. Yeah,
the Strider 14X, it comes as a balance bike, but also has a crank that you put on there once they're ready, and you can crank it up.
Right. And it eliminates the need to buy 2 bikes, one right after another. So they can have the balance bike part of it, and then once they gain enough confidence to balance, then you throw the cranks and chain on, and they're ready
to go. Bada bing, bada boom.
Boom.
Do they make those in the smaller size as well?
No, there's only one size for those right now, and it's a 14-inch wheel, so it is a little bit bigger than the original Strider. So the original Strider is 12-inch wheel. So those are usually good for the originals are good from the time when the child can walk up to about, I don't know, depending how tall your child is, maybe up to 5. And then the 14X, they say it's good for 3 to 5, I guess. So you might have to start them a little bit later on that one. But it's built, the construction of it is a lot nicer in my opinion. It has pneumatic tires, spoked wheels, nice quick releases on everything. So they stepped it up a notch on the quality of this design, more so than the original, in my opinion. So they're pretty sweet.
All right, sounds good. Always star !! Safety first. Obviously, you take them to
practice that.
No, it's improv. Take them to a parking lot like you would anything, or if you have a driveway, obviously not a sloped one, but any of these new trailers and stuff, especially, you need to learn on these things too, as well as they do, expect the ones that attach to your bike. So we don't recommend hopping on one of these and just hauling through city downtown,
right, and
expecting everything to go smooth and having a good time. Learn, be safe, wear all your bright clothing and your bells and your lights and all that good stuff. Make sure you're visible. We'll go into that further in other episodes, but especially when you have your kids on there, make sure they have lights on the trailer as well as your bike. Even flags. Flags are good.
Flags are great.
First time Josh rode his bike on the road, he did something fun.
Oh yeah, that was right.
This is what you don't want to do.
Yeah. So when I was, I guess that's probably about 10. We moved to this town here, Grove City, and before that, I only lived on like country roads. I just had like gravel driveways to ride my bike, or like a big backyard. So I never really experienced riding out on roads. The roads were always pretty dangerous. So once we moved to Grove City, I decided, I'm going to go on a bike ride. I'm going to ride over to the park. So I went straight out my driveway, rode down my street, made the first turn, and got hit by a motorcycle.
Boom. Yep. Insert crash noise here.
Yeah, and I didn't get hurt, but it flung me off the bike. I think I might have landed in the grass. Motorcyclists, he stopped and he made sure I was okay and everything. But
what's your problem, bro?
Get out of my way, kid. But
you got to smoke?
But that was a wake-up call for sure. It was like, I guess I have to pay more attention. So that could have been a severely, terrible experience for me and the motorcyclist, but it probably turned into a benefit to where it made me more aware of my surroundings when riding a bike right off the bat. Please don't let that be your kid's teaching lesson.
Yes.
To get them out on the road and they have to get hit by a vehicle to be able to determine,
that's not fun.
I guess I should pay attention. So yeah,
all right, there you have it. So before you just take them out on the road, this is when they're riding, not attached to anything. They have their own bike. So you should probably maybe go on a bike trail or something first to try to see how they're going to do.
Yeah, I would say take them on a bike trail. That way they get used to people passing them and having to pass things, going around little obstacles, things like that.
Looking ahead, sticks and stones.
Used to staying on the right side.
Yeah, riding in straight lines by themselves.
Basically a mock street scenario, I guess.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, getting used to other cyclists going around them, getting out of their way. So instead of getting out of the way of a car, if they don't get out of the way in time, a person on a bicycle is not just going to run them over. They're going to slow down and take their time and be like, hey, maybe you should get over. Like a lot of people will just slow down.
Right. You can use it as like a prerequisite to getting used to riding on the roads.
The rules of the road.
Because that's one thing. When my oldest, we were riding one day, and we were riding to the pool one summer day after work, and I was just riding along like I normally do, just riding like I'm in a car. And then we were on kind of a busy road, and I looked over at Phoenix, and I was like, why isn't she getting over in the turning lane like she should? And she was 13 at the time. And I was like, she doesn't know how to drive. Like, I just had this realization, like, she doesn't know how to
grow up, lady.
Like, she's never like been riding on the roads, so I have to like coax and guide a little bit more than
just keep that in mind, that they still need, even though they can pedal a bike all by themselves and turn and all that, they still need learnings.
Yeah, you really need
some schoolings,
some guidance, and you really need to just keep one eye on them all the time. It can get nerve-wracking riding on the roads with.
If you don't live in a neighborhood, I'd say the trail first, then a neighborhood before you do any kind of public,
absolutely
major road. Obviously, that's kind of a no-brainer, but
if they're
put that out there.
If they're on the trail, you kind of can teach them how to signal like their turns, talk out loud with other people,
and just pay attention to their surroundings a little bit more. Because my kids tend to, if I have them on their own bike, they tend to just think it's like playground time,
right,
and they can just like zoom in and out, make turns whenever they want, and zip here and there. And I'm always just like, no, this is not playtime. We can save that for the park, but right now it's very serious, and we have to pay attention to all of our surroundings.
And then fart in their face.
Yeah. And if you're riding and you see them riding in straight lines, stopping at all the intersections, because a lot of trails do have street crossings as well.
Yeah.
You'll definitely be more comfortable letting them ride by themselves if they want to go to the pool or something later on. Say they're in their teens and want to go to the pool, the libriary, their friend's house, or something.
Get ice cream.
Yeah, get some ice cream.
Get those ice creams, man.
Yeah,
my daughter's at that stage now. She's 13, and she's going to be wanting to go to the pool and stuff by herself. She rides down to the shop sometimes in the summer and goes to the library. And I'm nervous. I'm nervous to let her out there on her own, because she'll probably ride on the sidewalks when she's on her own. But it's still that can be dangerous all in itself.
Right.
So yeah, it's nerve-wracking. So get out there with them as much as possible and teach them all that you can.
Yeah. And see your local bike shop for all your attachment needs.
Right on.
All right. Well, that was great, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for all of that lovely knowledge.
You're welcome.
All right.
See.
So we're going to finish that off. We're going to do a sort of quick, I guess, heritage homage thing going on. We got a couple important mentions in history today. So last week was the penny farthing. This week, 1872, a guy named Friedrich Fischer, who was German, invented the precision ball bearing making machine, which mass-produced steel ball bearings, and they were patented by Jules Sunray in 1869. Is that important?
That's.
You need a ball bearing?
Ball bearings. We call them BBs.
Call them BBs, or it could be a bottom brackets. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, BB is like in a BB gun. I don't know. It took me a long time to realize
it's a ball bearing gun.
That's a ball bearing gun.
Yeah, same.
Like why do they call them BBs?
So how many ball bearings do you think are in a modern bicycle?
At least 100, I think. If you count all of them, depending on the bicycle.
Take your bike apart and count them. Let us know.
7mm ball bearings.
I don't know. They're not metric.
Finally, we won.
Right. Woo! We won one thing. At least they're not metric on this side of the pond.
Yeah.
I don't know how they measure them in Europe.
Very closely. All right. On a bike, where can you find bearings?
So anywhere where there's motion. So you have ball bearings and the headset.
And your brake levers?
No.
Okay.
There's motion there, though.
There is motion there. Come on, guys.
Well,
anytime there's something turning.
Steer.
How about that?
Motion.
Rotational motion. Jeez.
Your steering tube, your
bottom bracket.
Let's let Brian go through all
your
these.
bottom bracket, your axles, your seat stems, your inner tubes.
Come on, back it up. So your hubs, your bottom bracket, your headset, your pedals. Pedals have bearings, huh?
Yes.
What else?
All right.
I need to overhaul mine. They're getting squeaky.
Yeah. So even sealed ball bearings, you might not think that they have loose ball bearings in there, but those have little bearings in them too. So there's been steel ball bearings for years and years. Most bikes have them. Now they're getting in the ceramic bearings.
They're super cheap.
No, they're not.
Well, let's just all take a minute to thank Frederick, because
let's cheers on that.
Cheers on Frederick, because he made our lives a lot more.
Two of us have empty glasses.
You can tell. 4 years later, Browett and Harrison, who were English, patent an early caliper brake. So just in 1872 and 1876, within those 4 years, that's some pretty big stuff going on.
Yeah, that's a
big
one too.
What's crazy is in this bicycle timeline, it's just like one sentence. Like they don't give it
all out.
Yeah. And we'll this is our first kind of Heritage Homage, as we go over this, as we get started, we're just basically just knocking down the timeline, the big events. We're going to come back and revisit these things and go into more detail about even just the people, where they're from,
sure,
what they did, what they created, how it helped.
We could do a whole boring show, like I said,
right,
on just ball bearings.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody would want to listen to that, but that's
I
kind
would.
of it's a big thing
Yeah.
in cycling and in cars. Like a lot of these things were invented for bicycles first, but then they were just, transferred over to the use of cars and other machines.
We ruined it for ourselves.
Yeah.
Dang.
All right. Well, last on the docket here, we're going to do a bike shop showcase real quick.
Oh yeah, I have a
Surly
cross-check. I kind of happened upon this bike almost on accident. I ordered it for the shop to stock, and
never made it past you.
Never made it past me. Yeah, I rode it just to test it out, and then immediately, as soon as I got around the corner, I decided I just had to have it. So it rode so nice, and
he wouldn't even let me ride it. I've never ridden it.
Nope, I smacked his hand every time he tries to touch it. But yeah, I've wanted a cross check for a while. I didn't realize how much I wanted it till I rode one. My older brother Simon had one. He still has one. He's had it for years. He's taken it all over the world. Not ridden it all over the world, but he's taken it with him and I've always sort of been jealous of his cross check. So I finally got one too.
What'd you do to it?
I didn't do much to it. It's
because you didn't need to.
Yeah, it's pretty much set up just how I wanted it.
New seat.
Yeah, well,
baskets.
Old seat. I put my
racks.
Put my old Brooks on it.
The eldest Brooks.
My eldest Brooks saddle, B17, my flagship saddle. And then also put some racks, fenders, the basic stuff that I use for my main vehicle, which is what this bike is. It's my go-to. I look at all my other bikes, and then I usually end up grabbing the cross check down, just because it's so comfortable and so versatile.
So if you want to check that bike out, just look up the hashtag Heritage Cycles Showcase. You can see that sexy black stallion up there.
Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
Which, couple closing notes here.
Did you not say hashtag?
I
said hashtag.
No, I was going to try to say pole vault into a pothole, but it wouldn't come out.
Don't do that. Shit, we ain't got time for me to try that out.
I couldn't say it at all.
A little side note. We have shirts and stuff that we throw up on Amazon. All of our logos, our designs, everything is designed and drawn by us. And also, a little fun fact is that our intro and outro music is also played, recorded, mixed, and mastered by Josh and I. Yeah. So we do everything ourselves. But we have a merch Amazon account, so I'll be putting some links to that. We have some cool bicycle Ohio designs and some other states shop logo, Heritage podcast logo. So I'll put some links to that. Check us out again on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher. Spotify still is not approved. It's not approved. It's still pending, but we will be approved.
Maybe you're in the future.
Yeah,
and it is.
And it is now. Yeah,
that
but Google Play too. So that's another big one.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
We're on all that stuff. Don't forget to email for the Horn challenge. Email us any questions, any stories at Heritage Cycles Podcast at Gmail. And that's it for us. And we'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Pole vault into a pothole.